Amen. Hey, you can grab a seat wherever you're at. My name is Mike. I'm one of the pastors here on staff at Key Church. And before we get in, I know I'm going to talk directly to you guys, to you students. I wanted to take a second. If you're a leader, an adult leader in this space, could you raise your hand? I know that you're all over the place. As a parent with two kids in Wake, I just wanted to say thank you for the way you lead and love. I get choked up because it's my kids. Since moving here, you guys have impacted our family in a great way. You are great youth ministers in this space. And I know I've done youth ministry for 20 years before this. And if you're a leader in here, you don't hear praise enough for what you do. You are impacting these students, but you're impacting this area. So I just wanted to take a moment and say, leaders in this room, as a satisfied parent, thank you so much for the sacrifices you make to be here. I know we all appreciate you. Yeah, you guys can applaud. They're great here. They're awesome. Well, Wake, I'm so excited to be with you. Just to know, I did youth ministry for 20 years. I started as a high school pastor, did then high school and junior high, was a college pastor for a decade. And so now coming here, I'm excited to just be back in my roots with you guys. I just wanted to let you know, I know we're in a series or a collection of conversations. We've been talking about dating and sex. And I want to say, and today we're talking about marriage, which right now in your seat when you heard that, some of you might have been tempted to tune out and go, I'm not married. I don't know when I'm getting married. It's not anytime soon. But I want to promise I have something just for you. But as someone who's been married for over 2 decades, and as someone who has a kid in this room, so I know a little bit about sex, obviously, I am glad to be with you here today. And I wanted to share, just to give you a background, this is as we talk about marriage and that kind of relationship, I wanted to share a picture of my wife and I. We have that's me and my wife, Kristen. We have been together, we were high school sweethearts. We've been together for 27 years and married for almost 22. It's kind of crazy. Here's a picture from our wedding. We got married in Dana Point, right on the beach, literally on the sand, and a wave got within 5 feet of us while we were there. It was our dream location. We ended up living there for 5 years, and it was awesome. I love it. And just for fun, here's a picture from a prom that my wife and I went to when we were in high school. That's our senior prom. That dress that my wife was wearing was handmade by her, so it was a special trip. So I love being here, and I want to share a story about me, and then we'll talk about how this speaks to marriage. I grew up. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so I had a big family, and as the oldest, there were some struggles with my kids or with my brothers and sisters and the siblings. And there's a moment though that shaped who I am as a human being. And it started when I was about 8 years old. And I want to preface this as I go into this now. I'm going to share something about my parents and my sister. And I'm going to share, I know my kids will have stories like this about me someday. So don't hear the criticism of that. It's not, all parents do something like this. But I was 8 years old. I was sitting in my bedroom playing Nintendo, minding my own business, when my mom yells in such a way I had never heard her voice so shrill. And she screams my name, and I am kind of shook. I'm sitting there. I drop the controller. I'm like, what is happening? And she comes in my room, barreling into my room, throws the door open. And I'm like, what is happening? And she goes, I can't believe it. I can't believe you did it. And I went, I did what? And she's like, I cannot believe you would have the nerve to carve your name in my hope chest. And some of you are like, what is a hope chest? Okay, it's a wooden chest that you have that you put all sentimental things. She got it when she was a kid. She stored her wedding dress, letters from my dad when they were dating, all kinds of sentimental pictures, stuff like that. And so my name was carved right on the top of it. And I'm like, Mom, I did not carve my name. I knew this was something meaningful. I didn't carve my name on your hope chest. And she looked at me dead in the eyes and she went, oh yeah? Who in this house would carve your name on this hope chest? That's the $1 million question, Mom. I have no clue who would do it, but it wasn't me. And she's like, sure, grabs me by the arm, drags me, and this was a common punishment, put my nose in the corner, and she's like, do not leave until I tell you. You are to be silent in this space. So I sat, nose in the corner, for 90 minutes. Yes, not saying a word. When you have ADHD, to not speak for 90 minutes is a feat in and of itself. To have your nose staring in a corner. And I was sitting there the whole time going, who did this? Why would my name, did I do this and forget I did this? Well, how would my name get on this hope chest? 90 minutes goes by, in comes my mom very calmly, and she goes, Mike, and she's standing next to my sister, who's 13 months younger than me. Her name is Sarah. And she sits and she pulled me out. She goes, Mike, I need to apologize for a second. I assumed it was you. Your sister just came and told me she was mad at you, and so she carved your name in the hope chest. And my bewilderment turned into a smile of get her. And my sister, my mom turns to my sister and she goes, Sarah, apologize. Sarah goes, I'm so sorry. And my mom says, thank you for telling me the truth. You guys can go play. And I was like, what? I just spent 90 minutes in the corner and she's going to go play. What is happening in this house? It was crazy. And I look at this, and maybe for some of you hear the term hope chest, you hear about a hope chest, you go, that is weird. But I want to start by saying we all have an imaginary chest that we store all of our hopes, our dreams, all of our desires that we have for relationships. All of us keep a thing in our mind that is, this is where I store what my girlfriend is going to be like, what my boyfriend is going to be like, what they're going to look like, the abs they're going to have, the money they're going to make, the hair that's going to flow so beautifully. We all have this hope chest for ourselves of our hopes, dreams, and desires. What is my wife or my husband going to be like? Are they going to bring flowers to me once a week and treat me so stinking well? All of us have these dreams and this conception of what things are going to be like when we're married. And I want to say this, what's crazy to me isn't that we have these hopes, dreams, and desires that we store away. That's normal. All of us will have that. But for some of us, those things eventually become expectations. And what's amazing to me is those expectations, we end up on a stage at one point. Most of us in this room will. You stand next to your fiance, and you'll look at each other in the eyes and you'll say something like, I promise to love, honor, and cherish you until death do us part. And you'll say, I do. And what's not spoken is now you take your hope chest of hopes, dreams, and desires for your wife or your husband, and you hand it and go, do this, be this. I want this. And what happens oftentimes as we talk about relationships and marriage is those hope, dreams, and desires as they become expectations. They don't just become something that your husband or your wife wants to do or become. They become homework. And the big fear that your spouse has as they look at this list of who you want them to be becomes an expectation and becomes a fear that they'll never measure up. And so for us, as we talk into this, about marriage, about relationships, the temptation is to go, well, I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll figure it out when I'm an adult. I'll figure it out when I stand and walk down the aisle. I'll have it all figured out by the time I'm in a long-term relationship. But I'm going to tell you, that's not where you need to figure it out. That you can start doing things today. In fact, I would challenge you and say, if you want to stand on an altar someday and turn to your fiance and say, I promise to love, honor, and cherish you until death do us part, in sickness and in health, through all things, you can start by loving and honoring and cherishing them now with the way you live your life. Right now with the way you prepare yourself for that. And I know it feels far away, but everything feels far away until it's suddenly here. And what you do now, I know in high school, it's easy to go, it's just high school. But I want to tell you, the things you do now impact so much more. And you have an opportunity to change so much of what and who you are in a relationship. So as we talk, I was thinking about my relationship with my wife. When we started dating 27 years ago, and some of you, maybe you're in this room dating someone for the last week or 2 weeks, maybe it's been a long time, but I remember the first time we went on our very first date. And I remember when I got the guts in the middle of the date to reach over and grab her hand, the stress on my face before that, I was sweating, the butterflies in my stomach of like, what happens if she's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I remember our first kiss. I had this like, maybe too much, but I remember I had a thought. I'm like, I'm going to kiss her on the cheek, because that's safe. And if she pulls back to kiss me, I know she wants to kiss me. And if she goes and just looks at me like weird, it was just a kiss on the cheek. I was just doing that. I'm so sorry. And so I did that, and we kissed, and the whole time my heart was beating outside my chest. And many of you, maybe you're in a relationship and you do this. You sit on FaceTime or you talk on the phone and you do the like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. And you go back and forth. I know, you hang up. Some of you are laughing. Maybe it's texting until 1 a.m. Some of you do that, and you're like, if they don't respond within the first 45 seconds, you're like, what is going on? Do they not like me anymore? What is happening? I see you read it, but you're not replying. What is going on? The thing that I have found in most relationships when we start, and this starts in junior high and high school, we confuse the butterflies that we have, the adrenaline rush when we're around someone, the excitement with this must be what love feels like. And I'm going to tell you, it's been 27 years with my wife, and this might sound sad. The butterflies have long flown off. Like, they're gone. They're not like, does that mean our life isn't exciting? No. Does that mean I love my wife any less? No. I would tell you, and my daughter's in the room, I still think my wife is smoking hot. I love her. I love it. She is one of my favorite people to just be around. I love being around her. Like, there is something unique and special. She's my safe place in a room. In a room like this, it's weird she's not here because she's the one that I look at to go calm my nerves when I'm in front of a crowd or when I'm with someone. 27 years, that's what I found. Love isn't the feeling. It's not the adrenaline rush. Am I excited to be around her? Yes, but I don't get the butterflies. And many times in high school and into adult, we experience those things and go, that must be what love is. And then when those emotions or feelings, the hormones, the adrenaline fade away, we go, I just fell out of love with this person. And we know, many of us know this to be true because we've seen families. We've seen families, you had parents maybe that have broke up, that have divorced. You've watched friends, parents that have split. We've seen plenty of failed relationships. And maybe for us in this room today, we go, hey, let's just imagine for a second that love is so much more than a feeling. When we say, I just fell in love, love is so much more than something uncontrollable, that there is a choice to make. Love really is a choice. And so instead of looking for love, which many of us will spend a lot of our lives doing, especially our high school, college, young adult life, looking for the love of my life, what if we focus on truly learning how to love? And how do you really love people? Well, in 1 Corinthians 13, it gives a clear picture. And if you've been to a wedding, you've maybe heard this read before, but I want to break it down for us. Paul says, if you want to know a clear picture of what love actually looks like, this is what it is. He says, love is patient. What that means is love doesn't pressure. Girls, if you have a boyfriend that is pressuring, pushing your boundaries all the time, that they don't love you. Guys, if she's pressuring, she doesn't love you. Love is patient. Love says, I will give you all the time, all the space, what you need, all the boundaries you need, I am willing to give. He says, love is kind, which means it takes the other person's feelings, emotions, thoughts into consideration before they consider their own. This is a discipline. Naturally, every one of us in the room, the first thought we have is, what about me? Like, I need mine. Like, where is my stuff? And yet it says love is kind. It takes everyone else into consideration before them. Love does not envy. Envy says, when I don't feel good about myself, I can't let you feel good about you either. And he says real love doesn't envy. It celebrates the other person and where they're at. It doesn't boast, isn't proud. Love doesn't dishonor others. You want to know, this is what I say, if you want to know if they can honor you, look at how they talk about their ex. If they trash their ex, now I'm going to pause and step back and go, if all they do is talk about how much they love and miss their ex, there's obviously a problem in that relationship with you. But if they do nothing but trash and trash and trash, they're terrible, I hate them, all of this, that says something about who they are as well. That's dishonoring. And I can tell you, if they can honor someone in a breakup, they can honor you in a relationship. Love doesn't dishonor others. Love isn't self-seeking. That's effort. That's a discipline. What doesn't take discipline is like, give me some of that. I want that. Come on. That doesn't take, you can have physical attraction, desire, chemistry. That all comes naturally. You can have that and the thoughts of that with 1,000 people you've never even met. But not being self-seeking, doing these things takes time, effort, and discipline. And that's the stuff we can start doing. It isn't easily angered. Love is not easily angered. This is, if I'm honest with you, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, in this list that we're reading, the hardest one for me is this, because when you're tired or stressed, it is so easy to become angry. And for us, love, it says, is not easily angered, and yet so many times the people that I love the most, I am the shortest with, because I'm tired, angry, and comfortable with who they are. But love, it says, isn't easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. You want a terrible relationship with someone? Not just like dating or marriage relationship. You want just a terrible relationship, friendships. Keep track of every time you've been wronged by the person. Everything they've ever done wrong, you want to keep track of all of that. Your relationship will suck. I'll tell you that. It keeps no records of wrong. And here's the thing. Loving like this doesn't happen when you meet the right person. Like loving like this starts now. It really is a discipline. It's a skill. It's a choice that you make. It takes dedication, it takes effort, and it takes a choice. And it sounds weird to say it's a choice, but it is a choice every single day. Real love isn't the butterflies. Real love isn't the every time I get a kiss, I just feel the rush. Real love says every day I'm going to choose to do these things, to be patient and kind and gentle. That I'm going to exude the fruits of the Spirit in our relationship. It is minute by minute, hour by hour, choosing. I'm going to give all of myself to this person. In my marriage, I've been married, I said, almost 22 years. In 2016 was probably the toughest year in my wife and I's marriage. My kids were really young. They don't remember most of it. But I have a mental illness. And so in my mental illness, I was erratic. I was in a rough season, was not making smart. I was irrational, and I was causing a lot of pain to everyone around me. And in this season, which lasted months, my wife could and had every reason to go, hey, I don't need to deal with this. This is not what I signed up for. She had every right. In fact, to this day, if she would have walked out, I wouldn't have blamed her. Because I was erratic, irrational, and I would say whatever I wanted. And yet, she chose every day to fight for our marriage. She chose every day, this guy who is rude and mean, this guy who is erratic, irrational, who is out of his mind, I am going to choose to fight for him and for our marriage every single day. And I will tell you, for the rest of my life, I will eternally be in debt for this wife. Because when I looked her in the eyes 22 years ago, and we stood next to each other on that beach in Dana Point, when she said, in sickness and in health, till death do us part, she meant every word of it. The commitment she made, not just to me, but the commitment she made to God, she went, I will do everything in my power to make sure I follow through on that. She chooses love when it's tough. And that's what I want. The push, when push comes to shove, that day, whenever that is, when you stand on that altar, the promise you make isn't just to the person. That promise you make is to the Lord himself. And it is that promise that you make to the Lord that can carry you through. It's a choice to go, no matter what happens, I'm going to fight for that relationship, because this is a relationship I promised to God was going to come first. And so I want to look at how the Bible frames marriage in the brief time we have left. And then I want to talk about what this means for us. Okay, in Genesis 2:24, this is how the Bible frames marriage. It says, therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. That's the biblical definition of marriage. And as there's three words that are kind of used to frame out that idea of what marriage is. And so I want to look at that: leave, unite, and the oneness that marriage really is supposed to be. And I know, marriage seems far, and I'm going to reiterate, it is so close. Wow, that is some good thunder. That is some good. I thought it was like the audio equipment. I have ADHD. I don't know if you noticed, but that's going to really get me. So I want to talk about, first I want to start with leaving. This idea, what it talks about, leaving your mother and father, leaving is embarking on a journey. It is starting this brand new journey. Marriage really is this journey of discovery. Every day you discover something new about the person, and not just something new about them, but new ways to love and to serve. We often look at marriage, and we see this in like Disney and rom-coms and all of those sweet films that they ride off into the sunset with the happily ever after. But what they don't show is you ride off into the sunset, and there's 100,000 sunrises that come after that you have to live through. And you are not just going into the end of your life. You are embarking on a journey of discovery. Every day you will learn how love is expressed and experienced for both of you. See, God made you different from whoever you marry. Very different. My wife and I are extremely different. When we got married, she said, I think you can tell, I love tattoos. And my wife was like, you're not getting any more. I had one on my leg. She's like, you're done. But my wife is kind, and I convinced her I needed a few more, and a few more turned into a lot more. But she loves me enough to go, hey, we're different. She would not get tattoos like this. She said, you're going to look like trash. I was like, I don't like trash. So I'm like Forky. I'm trash. I like it. So my wife, though, we're very different people. She loves her Peloton. She would ride her bike all day, off and on. I hate that thing. Like the willpower it takes to get on that freaking bike. I'm like, my youngest, when I get off, she's like, how was it? And I tell her every time, assume it sucks. It always sucks. It's never good. I never love it. But she loves every second of it. We're different people. The way we experience love, very different. I love gifts. I got her an iPod like when they first came out, because she had mentioned one time, I think that would be really cool to have. So I went out and bought her one. She went, why did you do this? I was like, this is awesome. You wanted it. And she's like, I didn't want it now. I don't care about it. What I found was her love language, while my love language is gift, her love language was actually quality time. That sitting down and talking and having a conversation meant way more to her than any gift I could give her. This is discovery that you have. And your ability to embrace the differences in each other is the thing that is going to get you through in this journey. The second one is to unite, and uniting is making this commitment. It is the covenant that you make before the Lord. That you will unite with your husband, unite with your wife. Every mountain peak, every valley floor you go through, it is the promise you make to the Lord that day, that covenant promise that carries you through. When the moments on this journey of love are the most challenging, that commitment is what holds it together. See, God's promise to us is that when you invite Jesus into the center of your life and relationship, that it'll transform all of it. That when you apply his word, when you live in his truth, when you invite it into the center of your relationship, that he will lead you to amazing discoveries in that relationship. And the last one is the easiest one, and finally, it's to become one. This is the one that I think we talk about the most. This is the one in this room I know we talked about, and I know Pastor Justin said sex like 100,000 times, like in a row to get all the giggles out. But I know this. There is a lot more to sex, and the Bible says it's more than just an action. That there's this spiritual mystery that goes along. And so this oneness that it talks about is the ultimate expression of true love. It's the thing that links you together. The two become no longer separate individuals, but one flesh. The oneness Genesis is talking about is the ability to share all of you with that other person. All of who you are. Good, bad, all of it. From that point forward, the moment you step on that altar and say, I do, every decision, every choice, everything you go through, every moment is no longer two separate lives. You are one person. Marriage is tough and complicated. But the oneness, the covenant, all of that is the things that carry your relationship. And so here's the thing. You might be, again, in this room, and you're going, so what? I am 16. I do not have a boyfriend, and I'm not looking for one either. That's fine. If that's you, great. But I want to do this. I want to share this. We're talking about this today because I know that most of us in this room, at some point in our life, do want to stand next to someone and say, I will love, honor, and cherish you in sickness and in health till death do us part. And we want to mean it. And I'm going to tell you, many of us in this room, you're going to think walking down that aisle is what's going to solve all your problems. All of a sudden, the bad habits when I'm with this person are going to go away. All of a sudden, all my completeness is going to be felt. I will have all of that I've ever wanted in life. This person will fill what I've been looking for forever. And I'm going to tell you right now, no person will ever fill that. That if you're waiting for marriage for you to feel fulfilled in life, you're going to be really disappointed in what marriage is. But I will tell you this, only Jesus can fill your life, but marriage is a great compliment. No person will ever complete you. No raw emotions or hormones will carry you through to a successful marriage. How you love and how serious you take your vows is what will make you succeed in relationships and in marriage. So here's the thing. I want to pause and go back to what I was starting in the beginning. What's in your hope chest? What are your hopes, your dreams, your desires? What are those things that you're going, these are the things that I want my person to be? Now I want to ask you to do something else. What would that person that you're expecting today be looking for in someone else? What would the person you're looking for be looking for? And are you becoming that person? Are you becoming the person that you want, like who they would look for? Not looks, but are you becoming someone that is capable of love, of real love? Are you dealing with the things that you have bad habits right now? Are you dealing with those now? Or are you thinking marriage will fix it all? If you have a porn problem right now, I'm going to tell you marriage isn't going to fix that, make it magically go away. Just because you can have sex, it doesn't just disappear. That's stuff you deal with now. That's stuff you have an anger problem, that's stuff to deal with now. You have a problem with being overbearing, and that's stuff to deal with now. Work out your stuff now. I will tell you, if you talk to any married person, they would say, I wish I would have dealt with my crap in high school before I got into any serious relationship. Deal with it now. Deal with your habits. And here's the thing, learn to love Jesus with all you got. And I know many of you, you're here because of that. You love Jesus with all you got. Continue to do that and to let him pour into you. Don't fall into the myth that your emotions, your hormones, that excitement is what's going to carry your relationships forward. Because like I said, one day that all fades, and what's left is who you are and who they are. And making that choice day after day after day. But I'm going to tell you, when you honor God in that, like marriage every year, I remember listening to people that have been married 20, 30, 40 years, and they go, it gets better every year. And I went, how? They get older and grosser every year. Like the guy, like I look at the guy, I'm like, that guy is not good looking. Like he's got a catcher's mitt that's been used for a decade stapled to his face. He looks old and wrinkled. He's gross. And yet you're saying he's more attractive now than when you married him? How? And I'm going to tell you, as someone who's in their mid-40s and grosser than he was when he was 18, it's because my wife sees me for who I am, that she would probably say the same thing. My wife, who I have known since she was 16, well, actually we met when she was 13. We didn't start dating till she was 16. I would tell you she is more beautiful now because of what we've gone through together. And what we've gone through together is because how the Lord has shaped each of us individually. I love Jesus more today because of the way Jesus has transformed my wife and she has loved me. Can you do that with your spouse someday? Only if you pour your life and allow Jesus to feed every ounce of your soul. Pursue Jesus with everything you got. I'd like to pray for us as we head into a time of worship. Father, many of us in this room, we have real desires. real hopes and dreams for our relationships. Maybe we're in them right now, God. I want to pray, God, for each person in this room. I know all of us have a dream of someday getting married, someday standing on an altar with the person of our dreams. God, I pray that we would have the courage, the wisdom, the strength right now, no matter whether we're 14, 15, 18, wherever we are, to go, hey, I'm going to start loving and honoring and cherishing my spouse now by dealing with the junk I have going into my life now. I'm going to go learn to love the way Paul calls us, that you call us to love each other now, so that I'm prepared to love someone in the future. God, would you give us the courage and strength to do that? The foresight. I know, God, this world, it is so easy to fall into the trap that I'll deal with tomorrow. I'll deal with this later when I'm married. No, God, help us to do the right thing now. Father, as we pursue you, would you guide our hearts, our minds, our souls closer to you more so than any person on this earth. God, guide us to you. Speak to us. And Holy Spirit, would you fill us in every area of our life, our relationships, one day our marriages. But God, even in our singleness now, would you fill us and fulfill us? In Jesus' name, amen. Would you stand? We're going to continue to worship through music together.